dang good on Spear as well.
Yep.
And we just saw a lot of Spear focus coming out from both Sandstorm and Brawlhalla, and Stingray. This is quite the pick for me. Bryn coming through here to go against Boomie, who, despite all the talk about playing Orb and Blasters leading up to the championship, is on the Tesca here for game number 1.
Yeah, there's a completely confusing table of events happening right now, whereas we're not seeing Orion for one, which normally whenever you see Stingray, you count how many D-Sigs are going to hit during that set. Instead, he's pulling out the Bryn, maybe the Axis for something like this, but at the moment, Boomie is showing why you could just traverse and fly around the temple pretty easily as Tesca with these boots so far.
And those side airs coming through, disarms Boomie from the boots, and he can't even make it back to the stage. It's a quick 35-second stock coming up from Stingray. And this is, at least in North America, the first time we're getting to see on stream the new 1v1 map, Western Air Temple, which I'm excited about. You get those platforms that are alternating the heights after the start of the game, and we'll see how that plays out here, where I think that as far as a Spear downlights connoisseur,
exactly,
you really enjoy those changes depending on how well you play around them.
That's exactly what we saw, I believe they're in South America, where multiple times the platforms would fall just in range, and then you see someone go for a D-Light reset, or just go for a punish on it where they thought they were fine on that platform, and you know Stingray is going to have that already labbed out.
So I'm very curious what Stingray has got prepared with the axe there. He was switched over to a little bit, and Boomie just beat it while unarmed. Hits him with the neutral signature off the top, and evens up the game 2-2. Axe has an interesting buff to it going into this patch where you get those extra 2 frames of stun, and so going into this game, I'm wondering if you'll be able to get some kind of follow-up with the gravity cancel downlight or something like that.
Yeah, possibly. And one of the things that is kind of stressful here as well is the fact that you're starting off this match against that new legend. You may not be completely prepared for it, and you know Boomie will be prepped, but so far, Stingray hasn't really shown a weakness in that. He's been phenomenal on his Spear so far. We haven't really seen too much of the axe yet, and that's what's making me curious about what we see about the next game. That's if he even matters, because so far he's still up in the lead.
Now Boomie falling with that stock there. Stingray pretty far into the lead. Neutralite connects, another Neutralite comes through, and Boomie, going off stage with the boots now, is really having trouble getting something started against Stingray here. Side stick comes through, gets that sider, doesn't use the active input to travel with it, catches the jump with the neutral signature, which I think would cover all the platform heights irregardless. But with that downlight coming through into the down signature, Boomie is getting further and further behind here. He's got to get the stock finished off, and Stingray, okay, there's the down to catches Stingray fading back, sends him flying backwards as well. Tesca has so many of those active input options from almost like all of his signatures.
That's what we saw Magenta using very well. Sometimes from off stage, he would just slide up, get that D-Sig active input, toss you the other way. And he actually didn't use active input on Sair too much, but it's such a good active button at ledge that it just covers so much. Kind of like those neutralites that Boomie took about 3 times in a row.
Now let's see if Boomie can get an edge guard here. Recovery comes through. He's one solid hit away from Stingray, just taking this game pretty convincingly. Nares from the boots coming in, trying to catch the landing. Stingray just trying to get down underneath those platforms, and Boomie doing a great job controlling center. Dash forward, dash back. Stingray just waiting for that recovery, and he finally catches Boomie jumping, and that's what's going to cause Boomie to go down in game number 1.
Yeah, that was a primarily dominant game off the Spear, which is, like we said before, he is the Spear legend amongst North America, and you can see that zero damage.
Which does prove to me that Bryn is like he wants the stat lineup and signature lineup for the Spear. He doesn't want Lance in this particular matchup whether it's the boots. Now I'm curious that if Boomie is forced off of the Tesca, which he's not forced off of yet, if that will change from Stingray.
You know, considering the fact that the Vector was kind of struggling when the Lance was out, when we saw that matchup lineup, I believe it was Wes with the boots.
Versus Hughes.
Yeah, it was primarily the bow that got the job done. The Lance was kind of getting whiff punished a lot by boots, so I could see that as a solid counterpick option here from Stingray, and so far it's been playing out perfectly.
Yeah, boots are actually kind of interesting when I think about it, to where how they want to play out their punish game. Oh,
he just did it, bro. Stingray is that type of player that just goes for it sometimes, and you aren't prepared. That's that same fear that you get out of D6 from Orion, and he's essentially untouched here on this first stock.
Yeah, that was a crazy early stock with the side sig. And I think the thought that I was having before that side sig even connected was that I think boots are curious in the sense that their punish game is similar to Lance, with how you just want to keep going forward and forward. And maybe that has something to do with it, but we just to see the matchup play out some more. But as it stands right now, even with that neutral stick connecting.
Oh my god, that was almost such a good play. But he does get beaten, and he's not able to get that hit to get the chase dodge back over to the stage. So Boomie answering back pretty quickly. but he's still in the orange. It's been mostly, up to this point where he switched, it was mostly a gauntlet game.
Oh, and now that Nair comes through. Stingray falls down with the down air and the side air. Sidelight connects and tries to go into a Nair. Falls down with that down air. Great punish from Stingray on that downlight as well. And Boomie is now a downlight side air, downlight recovery away. He does sneak onto the stage with that sidelight, but he gets stared off the side of the stage. And Stingray, edge guard scenario here once again. Oh, can he get his first damage with the axe? Yeah, the neutral light comes through.
I got at least once back in there and immediately tossed it away. It's like, all right, it didn't get the KO I wanted, so it's gone. No, I'm just done with this. But we're already, I mean, now that straight hit Sear should do it, as he just barely misses, but Boomie saw through it and got the dodge.
Weapon throw down onto the stage. Gets caught by the neutral light as Stingray was trying to jump in place. And Stingray, or Boomie, does dodge underneath the weapon throw. Goes back over to the gauntlet. Stingray just waiting for something to spawn through here, but Boomie's doing a good job coming back into this game. D-Light down air, weapon throw, picks up the boots. Can Stingray do anything with this? I mean, Boomie... Okay, there's the D-Light neutral stick. That was huge because Boomie was really coming back from what was a huge lead.
Yeah, that was an immaculate weapon start that he had going for him there. And essentially, basically, all he really needed was to let him pick it up anyways because it would have gotten to the axe. But that would have primed him, of course, on the next one to have access to that spear. I think Boomie's starting to progressively get better and better here at challenging the spear nose. We see another recovery, not get the knockout, but he is keeping it his turn, Taza. And now he already has him back down after what was basically a 0 to knockout to start.
Yeah, that recovery was pretty great. Stingray looking for a weapon here, and it's the axe, and this is where I think Boomie can really go on the prowl. Nice job with that side air, flying forward to try to reposition with it, and Stingray holding on to the axe a little bit longer than I thought. I was expecting him just to throw it away just to get the next weapon to spawn sooner, which is something that you can do. The less weapons that are in hand, the faster that things come onto the stage. But Boomie has taken advantage of this completely and has taken the lead now.
Yeah, I think we've reached that point where, yeah, you need to throw that thing away, put it in the trash right now because it has not been getting any hits, and Boomie was just whiff punishing it like 4 times in a row. And now Boomie is not only whiff punishing that, but he's getting in on the spear way more. Finally makes a mistake in front of a sidelight, but nothing else really comes of it.
Oh, neutral light clashes there. Boomie still holding on the boots. He's got to be careful. The boots has got to be really damaged right now. I think after 1 or 2 more hits, they'll fly away, and he realizes that. So he goes over to the gauntlets, gets ready to pick up a fresh pair. Teska's signatures, while they're really good at repositioning, until a certain point of damage, they don't send you very far.
Yeah, so outside of that side seek, which, to be honest, yeah, I was going to say, I knew it was coming soon. It was just, he's hovering around. Oh. And the D-Sync won't be enough just yet, but will he be able to find another side seek? Doesn't even need it, gets the D-Light into the recovery. And Boomie, after being behind so far to start that game, brought it all the way back, basically on the heels of the gauntlets.
Yeah, the gauntlet fundamentals really coming in there. Very strong. There's some talk about how, and we're even seeing this, it's interesting to me, the gauntlets doing more damage and having more impact in this game than the boots when it comes to Boomie's particular playstyle with Teska. We're going to see that D-Light recovery, I think. Yeah, right on this last stock, which is just the bread and butter when it comes to being able to knock out with the gauntlets. They have to work a little bit harder in terms of what their auto combo is for taking out stocks compared to those weapons like sword or boots that have D-Light side air. But it's still a very good option coming out there from Boomie. And that's interesting to see because I think that, like, there was a little bit of an overreaction to losing that neutral light knockout option. But Boomie seems to be doing just fine with it on the gauntlets.
Yeah, that's honestly, like, the fact that he got them warmed up the way he did, too, was huge because before he just had literally no answer to spear, and then he had an answer to both axe and spear. And Stingray's still trying to get the axe warmed up at the moment. It is at least getting more hits, and of course, that straight hit factor has already put him up to orange.
This has all been on the axe so far, and the boots are coming out here, and Stingray still holding on to the weapon, being like, okay, I do have this prepared for something in particular, and I just want to see a little bit more of it. Falls down with the nair, looks for the downer as well, and Stingray walking forward with that side lights, tacks on a little bit more damage. He's got Boomie stuck on that platform. And something I've noticed for both players is that they're doing a very good job punishing their opponent when they are on that platform and preventing them from getting down on the center stage where they might be more comfortable engaging in neutral.
Yeah, big time agree. The soft platform control has been amazing on all parties involved. There hasn't really been one that's more dominant than the other. Considering the fact that Spear is in the hand of one of the others too, that it's still that way. When we see Stingray strike first here, he wasn't able to hold the lead before, but I feel like this game, with the axe kind of popping off a bit at the start, I feel a lot more comfortable about Stingray here in Game 3.
Yeah, Nair comes through. Didn't get anything off of that hit, but he goes for the neutral light right afterwards. He's been using these Nairs to catch Boomie's aerial attacks a lot more. Downlight side air comes through. That will take Stingray off the left side of the stage.
That's such
and
a
then
satisfying
switches over to
string for me to watch. I know I am in a party of probably like 1 on that, but I love watching that go off. It's so smooth, and just the way that the boots are starting to pick up now for Boomie.
Yeah.
You mentioned before, most of the, even though the presence of the boots kind of got him around, it was primarily the gauntlets in that previous game.
Right, yeah, and now the boots are starting to show off as those finishers. Downlight side after the sidelight though, into the weapon throw, catches the dive kick, Boomie has to go low. Ground pound, down air, both options are really great for the Axe here, but Stingray ends up sliding back onto the stage. Boomie comes back, he realizes the edge guard's over and tries to starve the weapons out. Sidelight, D-light, oh no, the ground pound gets the read, and Stingray can't get the recovery as Boomie dodges straight up, and look at what an edge guard from Boomie. Boomie's like, hey, this is what happens if you don't finish your food off the side of the stage.
It rings true. We have to bring it up at least once an event. Boomie is one of the most difficult people to edgeguard in the history of Brawlhalla, period. Now, this is going to probably be a closeout now. You occasionally make a mistake.
It better be.
But like you said, after what happened last time, you better not let him back on. Otherwise, you're going to take too much damage for it.
Yeah, good job with the double dare from Stingray. Switches over to the spear. Good read on the dash back. Hits the side air and follows Boomie all the way to the edge of the stage. Tries to get that dodge, diagonal dodge in with the nair on the spear, but the radius on that spear nair is a lot tighter now that the threat zone has been reduced since that last patch. Stingray, however, still doing well with these recoveries. Boomie in that difficult state of trying to get back down onto Stingray, and he just can't do it. Double nair. Could get a third here. Boomie jumps all the way around it, and now the roles have been reversed. Tries to get back on the stage, and Boomie just starts kicking.
Yeah, like you said, even with that threat range being reduced, it's still an incredible air-to-air option. Boomie's starting to get things going. We are deep in the red on both of them here. Looks for the read, does not get the read he needs, and that nair is going to come through.
Could be huge here. Oh, he wants that landing. The Sair, and he gets it. Boomie puts up the downlight, tries to catch the landing, and Stingray with the axe of all weapons on Bryn gets that damage above 600 and gets the finisher with the Sair. And we are seeing on those stats, I think that was 247.
Yes, I was going to say way more even game that time around. 247 on the axe compared to 343. Very, very needed, because in the previous games, the spear was starting to get played around. As you can see here, he was able to close it out this time. And at the very end, when he couldn't find those Sairs at all before, finally gets a bait out of Boomie so he could close it out and push himself up in the set.
Okay, and we're going to Game 4, back against the wall. Boomie sticking with Tesco all the way through in this matchup against Stingray. And Stingray now showing me that the Bryn is just a complete, like, I love that the Bryn is the choice coming out here from Stingray, because I think Axe as a weapon in general has been talked about just a little bit more than Hammer, which is none at all. And so seeing him being able to use this really well to combat the boots and the gauntlets from Boomie is really fun. Let's just see how this match plays out here, because Boomie's got to bring it to a Game 5. That down six is a great start.
I mean, it'd be an interesting timeline here at this point where we have to, normally this would be a normal statement, but if Boomie takes out Stingray, that would guarantee that both Sandstorm and Boomie would be fighting for that winner's top 8 qualifier in the next round.
Yeah.
But that depends on if you could take out one of our highest seeded players, of course, PR number 3 in Stingray, to try and prevent that from happening.
Oh, and that down sig, what a great catch on the landing coming up from Stingray there. Boomie sent flying off the right side of the stage. 2 stocks left for Boomie here. And then he goes down on these 2. He's also going down into the elimination bracket in winners round 1 of top 32. Stingray with the spear is doing fantastic. Avoids that weapon throw coming out from Boomie as well. Boomie falls with the nair, has the boots, and now going for that side stick, that down stick. The reasons you go for the down stick there are really great, because you can send people off, has great force, puts them off the stage, you get those edge guards. But if you miss that, I mean, you are in quite a bit of end lag. But that's a great downlight side air. You're talking about how much you love that combo, and not using the active input for the extra oomph is
I
a
like
great addition.
what he did before that too. He baited the idea. He put himself in a position where he was just going to Sair in that spot. So you saw Stingray fade back a little bit to try and play around what could have been a Sair, or maybe an attempt at jumping off with a Sair. But as soon as he already burned his jump backwards, immediately able to cover that with that D-Light Sair. And we've gone back to an essentially even game here.
Yeah, Stingray and Boomie both are trading blows about equally there. The neutralites have been catching Stingray's landings pretty well. Boomie goes in for a crazy pivot down sig there. And Stingray with the axe tries to dribble Boomie off the ground, gets a nice rising dare. Neutralite catches the forward momentum there. I think Axe, the more I'm watching this is something that I've talked about a ton with Axe in the past. When fighting Lance, I like the neutral light because it catches the moves that move forward. You stop them before it actually threatens you. And boots have a lot of that moving forward momentum as well with the down light, with the side light, with the side air. And if you just stop it with the neutral light, you can stop a lot of people's game plans when it comes to neutral, but that side sig will catch that landing, send them flying off the left side, and Boomie will take the lead in game 4.
That moves a whole jump scare, and I love seeing it. It's just every time, sometimes you're just not prepared for the instant swap into that side stick, but that's going to be an immediate revenge KO. And you have definitely mentioned this many times before, and it's playing true where you said Axe was incredible at Lance, shutting it down, slowing it down, and we, now we're kind of seeing why, not just the Spear signature kit, but also the Axe has been playing pretty well so up to this point now where it's starting to warm up against the boots.
Oh, and now it's last stock scenario. Stingray taking the lead a little bit with that downlight side air. Boomie playing around the platform, and honestly, I think the platform's been doing him a disservice whenever he's against Stingray's spear there. He's got to be careful about it because it's not a safe haven. In fact, it is a combo haven for Stingray. Nair comes through. He's around that platform, and Stingray is just complete control over it. Nair, weapon throw up. The falling side air gets stopped barely by Boomie unarmed, and he's waiting for that weapon spawn, and it comes in perfectly for him. Boots now on his feet. Let's see what he can do with it. Falls to Nair, and the neutral light just stops the forward approach. Stingray has got complete control over center stage, and Boomie trying to go in with that down light, gets hit by a Nair.
My God.
Side air hits, weapon throw. No dodge on Boomie here. Edge guard could come through from Stingray.
Boomie's been playing Temple Run for the past solid 30 seconds and more. He kept running away from the giant boulder. That was the fearful nature of Stingray. He was a massive obstacle. He could not slow down. He kept pushing him into that corner. You said it, he was controlling him on the platform, and even though he didn't get that follow-up Nair on that last one, he followed him back down after he panicked and jumped away, and he never relinquished that turn, and that gives Stingray that 3-1 victory.
There's something really cool about that down signature from Bryn as well that I just saw there in that moment. Boomie was trying to punish either a dash forward or something in place, because like when you use the neutral light, you step forward and then you kick. And a lot of Teska's moves on boots in general put your character up a character space, and the down sig